Have you ever found yourself replaying a conversation in your head like 50 times, analyzing every word, every pause, every inflection, wondering if you said the right thing? Or maybe you've spent hours, days, even weeks thinking about doing something, that big project, that difficult conversation, that new habit. Instead of actually doing it, you map it all out, you consider every angle, but the starting line just keeps getting further away. That, my friends, is the insidious grip of overthinking, and it's far more common than you might realize. This constant mental churn, this endless loop of what-ifs and should-haves, it's not just a harmless quirk. No, it's quietly, insidiously ruining your confidence. It's draining your precious energy, that vital force you need to make things happen. And it's absolutely crushing your momentum, making it feel impossible to move forward on the things that truly matter to you. Think about it. Every moment spent overthinking is a moment not spent acting, not spent living, not spent building the life you deserve. It's a silent saboteur, working from the inside, convincing you that more thought will lead to a better outcome, when often it just leads to more paralysis. We've all been there, haven't we? Stuck in that internal hamster wheel, our minds racing with 1,000 thoughts a minute. That internal committee in your head, debating every single tiny detail, second-guessing every potential move. It's that voice that whispers doubts, magnifies fears, and paints worst-case scenarios in vivid, terrifying color. It tells you you're not ready, you're not good enough, or that something terrible is bound to happen if you dare to take a step. This internal chatter can be so loud, so convincing, that it drowns out your intuition, your drive, and your belief in your own capabilities, leaving you feeling stuck and overwhelmed. But here's the good news, and I want you to really hear this. You are not broken, and you are not alone in this struggle. Overthinking is a habit, a pattern of thought that you break. And that's exactly what we're going to dive into today. We're going to unpack why we get caught in these mental traps, understand the sneaky ways overthinking kills your confidence, and most importantly, I'm going to equip you with powerful, actionable strategies to stop it in its tracks. So, if you're ready to reclaim your mental space, boost your confidence, and finally start taking action on your dreams, you're in the right place. Let's do this. And remember, overthinking is like a rocking chair. It gives you something to do, but it doesn't get you anywhere. Chapter 2. Fear of failure. What if I mess this up? Fear of failure can paralyze us, making tasks seem monumental. It's not the task itself, but the fear of judgment and loss. This fear keeps us in our comfort zone, avoiding action. But remember, it's often a false alarm. After all, even the best chefs make mistakes. Now, let's tackle another major instigator of overthinking. And it's a sneaky one because it often masquerades as a virtue perfectionism. It's that persistent inner voice that whispers, "It has to be just right before I start." On the surface, this sounds incredibly responsible, doesn't it? It sounds like you have high standards, like you care about quality. But more often than not, this pursuit of just right is a cleverly disguised trap that keeps you stuck in a loop of endless preparation and zero action. The problem with just right is that it's an illusion, a constantly moving target that you can never quite hit. What feels perfectly planned today might seem inadequate tomorrow when a new doubt creeps in. Or you might achieve what you thought was just right, only to find a new set of just rights to aim for immediately after. It's an unattainable standard, a mythical destination that always seems to be just over the horizon, keeping you in a perpetual state of not ready yet, and therefore, not starting. This relentless pursuit of the elusive perfect state often leads to an exhausting cycle of over-preparation, endless research, and constant tweaking, but very little actual action. It's like trying to nail Jell-O to a wall, messy and ultimately pointless. Let's dive into the need for control. Life throws a curveball, and suddenly our brain screams, "I need to control this!" It's a natural instinct to steer the ship when waters get choppy. We believe that if we plan for every contingency, we can prevent anything bad from happening. Our mind tries to build an impenetrable fortress against life's unpredictability. This craving for control often masquerades as responsible planning, but relentless overthinking no longer serves you. It becomes a seductive illusion. You feel productive, wrestling with the problem. You convince yourself this effort is the key to a perfect outcome. But this rumination is just anxiety trying to feel powerful. It's your brain's attempt to create order in a chaotic world. The comfort this illusion provides can be addictive. For a moment you feel powerful, taming the unknown. It's like a mental security blanket, shielding you from disappointment. But that blanket is paper thin, and the real world doesn't conform to our plans. This false sense of security keeps you stuck, waiting for certainty. The more you try to control everything, the more you fuel your anxiety. You overthink to gain control, realize you can't, and become more anxious. You end up feeling more out of control, exhausted, and no closer to solving anything. This need to micromanage the universe leads to burnout, not peace of mind. So why not let go a little? After all, even the best-laid plans of mice and men often go awry. All right, let's talk about a game-changing strategy to pull you out of that overthinking paralysis. It's called the 80% rule. Make a decision when you're about 80% sure, with 80% of the information you think you need. Forget waiting for 100% certainty. It's a unicorn. The 80% rule shouts back, good enough is good enough to get started. It's about valuing progress over a flawless but often unattainable ideal. Action is the antidote to overthinking. It builds momentum and fuels your confidence. When you decide to act with 80% certainty, you break the cycle and make real progress. After all, even a broken clock is right 80% of the time. Chapter 6. The 5-Second Rule, your launch code for action. All right, now we're getting to one of my absolute favorite tools, something I live by, and something that has changed millions of lives. The 5-Second Rule. It's so simple, yet so profoundly powerful. The moment you have an instinct to act on a goal, a thought to do something that could improve your life, or an urge to break a habit of overthinking, you count down, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. And then you physically move. You launch yourself into action before your brain has a chance to talk you out of it, before the doubt, the fear, and the excuses can take hold and sabotage your best intentions. Now, this isn't just some cute motivational trick. There's real science behind why this works so effectively. When you hesitate for more than a few seconds, your brain's natural defense mechanisms kick in. The amygdala, your brain's fear center, starts to flag the unfamiliar action as potentially dangerous, and it floods you with reasons to do it. The 5-second rule acts as a pattern interrupt. By counting backward, you shift mental activity from the limbic system, where fear and emotion reside, to your prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain responsible for decision-making, focus, and deliberate action. You are literally hijacking your own hesitation. The beauty of the 5-second rule is that it's not about waiting until you're ready or motivated or confident. Those feelings often come you act, not before. This rule is about creating a bias towards immediate action, regardless of how you feel in that moment. It's a tool to push you through that initial resistance, that critical window of time where your brain is most likely to slam on the brakes. It's about recognizing that your instincts to grow, to change, to connect are often fleeting, and you need a mechanism to capture them before they vanish into the fog of overthinking. This simple act of counting down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 is a form of metacognition. That's a fancy word for thinking about your thinking. You're acknowledging the internal battle, the pull of procrastination or fear, and then you're consciously choosing to override it with a deliberate physical movement. You are asserting control over your own mind, rather than letting your habitual thought patterns dictate your behavior. It puts you squarely back in the driver's seat, empowering you to make choices that align with your goals and values, even when it feels uncomfortable or a little bit scary. So next time you hesitate, just remember, don't let your brain be the backseat driver. Chapter 7. Create a decision deadline. The tyranny of someday crushes your confidence and keeps you stuck in overthinking quicksand. Someday is a dream killer. It's where brilliant ideas go to die. Create a decision deadline, a clear line in the sand. Shift from a passive worrier to an active decider. After all, you can't spell deadline without deal. Stop letting someday dictate your life. Take charge with clear, defined timelines. Chapter 8. Get out of your head into your body. Shift gears and pull the plug on overthinking by getting out of your head and into your body. Overthinking disconnects you from your body, creating tension and stress. Tune into your body's signals to break the cycle. Remember, your body is like Wi-Fi for your mind. Sometimes you just need to reconnect. Move, breathe, and change your posture to reset and find calm. Your body is your ally in combating overthinking. Escape the prison of your overactive mind by getting into your body. Okay, let's talk about what happens when your mind feels like a super cluttered, noisy room, with thoughts bouncing off the walls. A constant barrage of worries, to-do lists, and what-ifs. It's exhausting, right? This mental overload is a prime breeding ground for overthinking. When all those thoughts are just swirling around inside your head, they can feel incredibly overwhelming, tangled, and much bigger than they actually are. It's like trying to sort through a massive pile of papers in the dark. You can't see clearly, and you just keep bumping into the same things over and over again. This is where so many of us get stuck. Now, what's our usual response when our minds are this full? We often try to think our way out of it. We try to organize the thoughts internally, to reason with them, to push them away, or to solve everything right there in our heads. But here's the problem. When your mind is already overloaded, trying to manage everything your mind is like trying to clean up a flood with a sponge that's already soaking wet. It just doesn't work very well. In fact, it often makes the thoughts feel louder, more persistent, and more jumbled. You need an external outlet, a way to get those thoughts out of your head so you can actually look at them. This is where the incredibly simple yet profoundly effective practice of a journal dump comes in. I want you to imagine your mind is a computer with way too many tabs open, slowing everything down and making it impossible to focus. A journal dump is like hitting Ctrl plus Alt plus Delete on that mental chaos and offloading all that data onto an external hard drive, your journal. It's about creating a dedicated space where you can release the torrent of thoughts, feelings, worries, and ideas that are crowding your mental landscape. This isn't about eloquent writing or profound insights in the moment. It's about the pure act of release. The beauty of a journal dump, and why it's different from more structured or prompted journaling, is its rawness and lack of filter. It's not about crafting perfect sentences or finding deep meaning on the page as you write. It's permission to be messy, to be repetitive, to be seemingly irrational. It's a brain drain in the best possible way. You are literally taking the contents of your overthinking mind and transferring them onto paper, or a screen if you prefer. This act of externalizing is the first crucial step in untangling the knots and reducing the power these thoughts have over you and ultimately over your confidence. So next time your mind feels like a chaotic circus, remember, it's time to send in the clowns, or rather, your journal. When your mind feels like a cluttered, noisy room, it's exhausting. This mental overload breeds overthinking. Thoughts swirl around, feeling overwhelming and tangled. It's like sorting through papers in the dark. We try to think our way out, but it doesn't work. You need an external outlet. This is where a journal dump comes in. Imagine your mind as a computer with too many tabs open. A journal dump is like hitting Ctrl plus Alt plus Delete. It's about releasing thoughts onto paper. This act of externalizing helps untangle the knots. Alright, let's get real about something that trips up so many of us. This idea that you need perfect, crystal clear clarity before you can make a move. It's like waiting for all the traffic lights to be green for 10 miles before you even start your car. Spoiler alert, that's not how life works. How often does that happen? Practically never. This belief that you need to see the entire staircase before you take the first step is one of the biggest lies your fear will tell you. Confidence isn't something you just have, it's something you build. Clarity doesn't precede action. Clarity follows action. You have to start moving, even if it's a tiny, awkward, uncertain step, to begin to clear the fog. Remember, even a foggy path can lead to a bright future. Ready to put these ideas into practice and see a tangible shift in your life? I'm throwing down a challenge for you, and it's simple but powerful. For the next 7 days, act before you feel 100% ready. Push past hesitation and overthinking. This week you're not waiting, you're doing. Prove to yourself that you can operate with less certainty and more courage. Action generates momentum and empowers you. You'll feel lighter and more in control. Please take a moment to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Share one thing you've been overthinking in the comments below. Your courage to share might be the catalyst someone else needs. The antidote to overthinking is action. The life you want is waiting for you on the other side of action. So go get it. And remember, don't let your thoughts tie you in knots. Take action and untangle that brain spaghetti. This is just the beginning of your journey to quiet overthinking and build unstoppable confidence. Overthinking is the silent killer of dreams and peace. It keeps you stuck in anxiety and inaction, but you have the tools to break free. Action builds confidence. Overcoming overthinking is a daily practice. Commit to yourself every day. Start now, not tomorrow. The right time is always now. You got this. And remember, even a broken clock is right twice a day. I'm cheering you on every step of the way.